look at those little ducklings.
Oh, they're nice.
Lovely, isn't he? Oh, I'm glad to get this off my back. Oh.
Well, Clive, what do you think of this?
Yeah, I think we'll be okay, Ken. Do a bit of Waggler fishing, I think, yeah?
Yeah, Waggler's good, good.
Yeah. Nice clear swim. Oh, look, there's some fish over there.
Oh, yes. Yes, I see them.
Yeah. It's a bit of a downstream wind, but I think we'll overcome that.
So, will you teach me how to set up?
With pleasure, Ken.
Thank you very much.
Not so far out.
Right.
That's it, fine, yeah.
Fully extended?
Yes. That's about it. Fine. Okay. Right, Ken, comfort's the most important thing, whether you're on the bank or in the water. These aluminium stands are very popular now with anglers. They're very lightweight, easy transportable, and the legs are adjustable. We're going to put our bait on them shortly.
Okay.
Our tackle box right behind us. Easy accessible for all the bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm.
The landing net in a position so that we can pick it up and net the fish. The keep net pegged out in such a way that it doesn't collapse on itself.
Yes.
Safety for the fish, okay?
Right.
Just put this by there now. When we catch the fish, straight into the net.
Gotcha.
Okay,
gotcha.
So we don't have to walk down the end of the swim. Everything's around us.
I understand.
Perfect. Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes I put my reels in those as well.
You can buy these, right?
No, you can't. Not in this country. Not yet, anyway.
But presumably you can get
You could probably make
cotton
them. You could probably make
bags
them.
or something. Yeah. Good idea.
Get the wife to make them out of an old
absolutely.
pillowcase.
Absolutely.
Right, a couple of pints of casters, of course.
Casters. What's the difference between maggots and casters?
Well, casters, they're chrysalis from the maggot before they turn into a fly.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right, mix up a bit of ground bait, yeah? This is a special mix that I developed myself. We're going to put some
So I can't ask you what's in there. Secrets.
Secrets.
Okay.
Normal brown crumb first. You can see the hemp in there, though.
I shall have it analysed.
They're all after my secrets.
Yes, of course, of course.
Right, let's get these down on the bait stand now.
Right.
Come on, ducks. Right, we're going to mix the ground bait now, and we're going to make it so it sticks together because we've got to cast what 30-40 yards.
At least, yes.
Yeah. We'll make it so it sinks to the bottom, and later on we'll add a bit more dry, and hopefully we'll bring the fish up.
Got it.
Okay. I like using these large collapsible containers because you can get right into the corners to mix the ground bait. Use your fingers, like so. Okay, and that mixes it. Beautiful.
It's like porridge.
No, it's not. No, actually, you can always tell a good ground bait by the consistency. See, if you squeeze that together, now if it was like porridge, you couldn't go like that and crumble it back to,
I see.
crumb.
Will it go like that when it hits the water?
Yes, what'll happen, it'll break into the water like a cloud.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
See, watch this here. See how it breaks up?
Oh, it's a cloud, isn't it?
Beautiful. Right, let's choose our waggler then. Ken?
Right. Clive, what exactly is a waggler?
Well, the best thing for me to do is to show you, Ken. Generally, there are three types of wagglers. One is a bodied waggler,
Yep.
normally for choppy type of water. We also use them as a slider. An inserted type of waggler, which I generally use on still water. And then there's the straight peacock waggler, which we'll be using today.
Fine.
Okay, let me show you how this shot it up. My favourite rod, this one. It's won me the World Championships.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did it? I just noticed you put in the top section on.
Yeah,
Ready for that?
that's a good observation there, Ken. I've seen so many youngsters and beginners start the other way round, which is totally wrong, really.
Why?
I'll show you. If you put the butt section and then the middle section on, like so, as you pass it down, you're holding the thin end.
Yes, 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 yes.
And as you carry on down, it means you're putting stress on the thin end.
Yeah.
So really...
You better hurry up, it's gone cloudy.
That's a bit, yeah. Right, this tip section onto the middle section and the butt section, you have moved from one spot, whereby if you used it the other way around, it would mean you'd have to sometimes walk the full length of the rod to pick it up. Okay? Right, reels. Can you hold that one?
Certainly.
These are the two type of reels that I use. This is an open face one, that's a closed face one. I use a closed face reel for inside work, generally, and this for long distances. Today we're going to use this because it's about 30 to 40 yards wide here. Okay? Right.
What's that length rod? 14 foot.
14 foot, because of the long distance casting. And these are the basic items that we'll be using today. Scissors, obviously, for cutting a line. 2.5 swan shot Waggler. 1.5 pound hook length, 18 size hooks, and of course the shot. Have you ever seen that before, Ken?
No, what's that?
Well, that actually is a silicone sleeve. It's a silicone rubber that we use for pole floats. These new shots are actually quite hard, and when you press them onto the line sometimes, they damage the line and sometimes can cause it to break.
Oh, I see. So that acts as a cushion.
Exactly. So what you do, you squeeze it on like so and lock the floats. Of course, with the smaller shots, as you put them on the line, there's less damage. Anyway, let's thread the float now, and I'll show you what I mean. First of all, obviously the float goes on there, like so. Now, if you put the float in between the rubbers, like so, you know now that the shots lock on either side.
Same amount of shot on that side.
That's right. I'm looking in the water. I would imagine it's something around about 7 or 8 foot deep. So we'll set it for about 7 or 8 foot deep, and then there's a method that I want to show you for testing the depth, and that is over
what? Overshotting?
No, sorry. Over depth, trotting the float down. So eventually it rides through the water without bumping the bottom. Okay? Right. So you lock the shots. You normally put the bulk just below the floats. Okay?
Yes, yes.
So that's 1, 2, like so. And then we put the...
A locking shot, presumably.
This is the locking shot.
Yes.
Stop it sliding up the float. Okay? There you go. Now we're going to shot this in such a way that we'll be able to tell a bite falling through the water. We need to space these shots out, I would say, 12 inches apart.
Is there a reason for that?
Well, as these shots fall through the water, we'll be able to tell if a fish takes the bait on the drop. You see?
Yes, I understand.
We'll be watching the tip settling in the water. Now we're going to tie hook length on in a minute, and this is another tip that I use. I always tie my knots on a water knot. I mean, you could tie them blood knots, but I find that a water knot is just as easy.
And reliable.
And reliable, yeah. What I do is loop it over 3 times. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Okay, wet the line. So it doesn't cause any friction, you see. There you go. Cut the line there. Now, for added strength, I always pinch a shot on it.
see.
See? Just like
That's a belt and braces method.
That's true. Yeah. Now for the last shot, it's going to be slightly smaller than these number 8s that I put on the line, okay? I'm going to put number 6. Approximately 12 inches from the hook. Tie the hook on now, Ken.
Yep.
Wet your finger. Pick the hook up. A lot easier.
Oh yes, that's good.
Okay. Form a loop with a line, like so.
Gotcha.
Pinch the spade. Using the right hand, you pinch the loop on the bottom of the hook, and with the tail, you whip the line onto the shank. Watching?
I'm watching, and
Yeah,
it looks easy.
it does. About 8 to 9 times. Sometimes longer, depends on the size of the spade.
Sure, sure.
Take the tail back through the loop
Mm.
that you formed at the bottom, okay? Just wet it, and just pull the line steady, and the knot will all squeeze up together. Just push it up to the top of the spade.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, I don't know if you can see,
Yes,
the line is coming from the inside of the spade.
that's right.
So it means that when you strike a fish, you're actually pulling into it. Because if you had the line the other way around, you're pulling away from it. And this is a thing I've got against eyed hooks, because it's sort of hanging loose on the bottom of the line. This way it's fixed and it'll strike into the fish. Just cut it off with the scissors. Okay.
Very neat, Clive, very
Right.
neat.
What we'll do now, we'll go and test the depth.
Fine.
Okay. This is the way that I cast, Ken. I hold the bait normally and I cast over arm like that. I feather the line so the shot all falls behind the float. Tighten the line. And as we can see, it's just dragging bottom. Okay. We'll adjust it now and we'll come off the bottom. Now we set a tackle up, Ken. Let's start to bait the swim up. There's two methods of baiting a swim at these distances. One is with ground bait and the other is with sticky mag.
What's sticky mag?
Now sticky mag is a trade name for a powdered substance that you put on the maggots which binds the maggots together. I'll show you now. Here we've got some maggots and here we have the sticky mag. England used this incidentally to win the World Championships this year.
Did they?
Yeah, okay, all I need is sprinkle.
Yeah.
Okay, within 2 minutes that should start sticking together. So we leave them there. I've already got some prepared. You can see how well they bind. Look at that.
Oh, yes.
Marvellous.
Yes.
Okay. I think what we'll do first of all, let's try some ground bait. I like to introduce my maggots to the ground bait. Like so. Squeeze a shape like a sausage, so it fits nice into the pouch. Now we've got eye up a tree. I'm hoping that we're going to catch the fish in the middle, opposite the shade of that tree. So let's try this. There you go. Now what's happening with that ground bait is it's falling through the water, breaking up and laying a bed of maggots and hopefully some ground bait along the bottom. And we're going to start drawing and attracting fish from down there.
And then you will cast and float your
Yes.
hook down on top of that.
When I get into a rhythm now, I'm going to feed, cast, and they're both going to go down together.
Wonderful.
Right, sticky mags. Similar type of thing. Make them so they fit into the pouch. Again, now what I'm going to do with these mags, they're going to go slightly upstream a yard or two further than the ground bait, because the ground bait has basically gone down quicker and the maggots will take that bit longer. Okay, so yeah, perfect, perfect. Oh, the ducks are after that then. Okay, we'll do a couple more and then we'll start fishing. There we go. One. And this one now. Maggots again, just above it. Perfect. Right, I'm going to do some fishing now. Hopefully you've learned a bit this morning.
Absolutely.
Now if you can go and swim a bit further up, tackle up, and I'll come and see how you're getting on in a few minutes time, okay?
Thanks, Clive.
Okay.
See you later.
Okay. Bye. Right, now while Ken is tackling up, let's try the casting. Here we go. Overarm, slightly downstream, bury the line. Okay, put the rod between the legs, the easiest way to hold it. Loose feet into the ground bait. Okay. Right, let's see if I can hit that float. Perfect. Oh, a bite. Yeah. Oh, look at that, first cast. I just bumped it, oh well. Just had a bite on my first chuck then, Ken. Hi, don't know what it was, felt like a roach. Let's try again. Overarm, up towards that tree, feather it out, that's it. Sink the line, slightly downstream. Right, and the ball. I'll keep this bait going regular. That's it, slightly upstream. Right. It's a lovely day today, mind. A bit cloudy at the moment. Hope it don't rain. Let's feather some line out. Hello, is that a bite? I think it is. Yeah. Sure that was a fish then. Bumped it again. I might have to change it to a smaller hook. Let's try it one more cast. Change the maggot, I think. Right. Let's try threading a maggot. Perhaps that might produce a fish. Yeah. One at the shank. One on the bottom. Let's try that then. Right. Overarm. Towards the same area. That's it. Feather it out. So the shot goes in front of the float. Right, let's see if I can hit that float again. Perfect. Hello. Let's lift this float up a bit. Perhaps I'm still dragging the bottom. Right, just quietly bite them just to loosen them. That's it, slide it down gently. Let's try a couple of inches. That's it. Right, check the maggots. No, they're not touched. It must be in the bottom. Okay. Overarm again. Into the shade of that tree. Slightly downstream, mend the line. Ah, yes. At least the wind stopped now. That's one good thing. Makes life a lot easier. And the ball at ground weight. Yes, that's not good. Mind you, it might take a few minutes for the fish to come on. Hello, I'm in. Yep. Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, what's this? Roach. Let's have a look. I would say he's around about 4 or 5 ounces. Keep the rod up now. Bring him up to the surface. Yes, oh lovely. Look at that. Whoa, look at that, Ken, beautiful. It's a nice roach. Lovely. Oh well, let's hope that's the first of many. Right, now after changing the hook to a 20, let's see if we get a bit more response. Right. No, I'm not happy with this. I think I'll try a single shot rig. Just seen a couple of fish pimping on the top. In other words, taking food off the top. If I try one of these single shot rigs, fishing about 3 foot, try that, see if that gets any response. Right, roughly the same size float, same size hook. Just with a single dropper down. So a double maggot. Let's see what sort of response I get with this. There you are. Bite. With this single shot float, it's so instant. The shot is down and the float is set. Yeah, there's slight wind coming up now. There's a slight bow in the line, so you've got to be careful of that. If I get a bite, I'll have to strike upwards to compensate for the bow in the line. I might have had a touch then. Yep, I'm in. Yep. It certainly worked putting that extra foot on. Hello, feels like a bream. Sluggish, yep, I think it is. Nice one. Yeah. I gotta keep him down, I can see him come to the surface there, yep. Hello. I'll take it easy on this small hook. That's it. He's starting to come. Yeah, he's starting to swim towards me now. Take it easy. See the float? There he is. Lovely. A beautiful fish. Gently. Yeah, that's it. I think he's tired. Yeah. Right. Oops. Yeah. That was his last fight. Up he comes. Yeah. Got him, lovely. What a lovely fish. Ah, a lovely fish. Oh, look at that. He didn't quite take it. Oh. Oh. Let's put the old discorder on that. She's making a grunting noise. Oh well, it's a lovely fish, mine. See if we can catch a few more of them. Same sort of cast, over and over, here she goes. Pull the line, feather out so the shot goes out in front of it. Right, setting nice, lovely, beautiful. He's just tripping the bottom there now. And there's any old bream around, whoops, had a bite. Yep, oh, yep, got one on the slider. Thought it might produce one. Ooh, yes, seems a lump. Oh, it's a lumpy one, this. Usually find the bigger fish on the bottom, see? Lovely arc in the rod. You should always point the rod to a side, because then, if there's any sudden movement, it'll buffer itself. So it won't pull off the hook or snap the line. Just like that. You see? Whoops, just like that. Yeah. Ooh, here it comes. Boat comes. Oh, got him. No. God, my biggest fish today. Beautiful, look at that. Oh, 4 pound at least. Oh, and he's only just stuck with my 20. Beautiful. Whew.
I just saw that, Clive.
Beautiful, wasn't it?
Beautiful, beautiful.
It was the biggest fish today.
Really?
Great.
How you done?
Well, I've got a few pounds.
Can I have a look?
Yeah, right.
Gorgeous, gorgeous.
Really enjoyable today. Oh. Oh. Look at that one.
Oh, very well.
Beautiful, isn't it? Right. Don't give them too much stress, so we'll empty them there. Oh, look at that one there. Look at that. Right, yeah. Oh, there you go. Oh, right.
Well done.
Let's hope we have as much luck tomorrow.
What are we doing?
Well, we're going to do a bit of still water fishing.
Excellent. Look forward to it.
Right. Now, the type of fish I'm expected to catch here will probably be roach and rudd, and really I want to get them past that shelf, which I can just about see out in the water. Now, the method to catch this will probably be the long pole to hand, and that way I could probably increase my catch rate as well, doing the same thing. Right, let's have a go at that then. Now, the tip sections that we've used on our pole vary. Now, I've seen a few fish jump, and I would imagine that they're 4 or 5 ounce fish. So I'll start off on a medium-sized tip, okay? If I find that their fish is slightly larger than that, then obviously I'll go into a stronger tip. And if I find that they're up to a pound, then I'll go into one of these quick attachment tips there, you see, with a built-in swivel. This is an interesting development as well. You can now buy a silicone tube with a swivel built in. So you can use this adapter onto any tip that you want. Now the type of float I'll be using today will be that sort of shape. For long pole fishing you need something quite bulky, 2, 3, 4 grams. Some of the continental anglers can actually do it in 1 gram floats, but they use aerodynamics that are foreign to us. But anyway, these are the floats that we're going to use today. And they're going to be shot in such a way that the bulk will proceed to float as we swing it out. Okay, we'll probably have to overcast here to get the distance that we require. Now we're using 11 metres of pole, so that means 11 metres of line, so you're talking something like 22 metres. Okay. Whenever you put the pole on the ground, always be careful that people don't step on it. I've had it happen to me a couple of times. Now, I don't know if you've seen that, but this is another method for holding the hook onto the pole. You just turn the hook round and onto the line, okay? Now the plumbing. We're going to use a light plumb because we're going to cast over arm. If we were going to swing it out, we would probably use a heavier plumb. I presume it's about 3 to 4 foot deep, this water, so we'll just check it there. Okay, right, over arm cast. Just lifting it up now. I see, so it's just going under, so that if I put an extra 4 or 5 inches on top of that, that should be about right. Okay. Now, I don't know if you can see that shot in, that's the bulk there, you see? And a single dropper shot. That's how we'll approach it. Okay, that's about the depth. Right, cast it. Overarm. Pull it back slightly so the float comes up in a straight line. That's about it. Perfect. What we'll do now then is prepare our feeding. Put the pole back. To a position. Now the type of mix I'm going to use will be 50% non-cereal based. In other words, I use seeds, lean, and some floating material to cause an effervescent effect, so that when it's dropped in the water, the particles will come up and it will attract fish all the while. Try that one in there. That's it, start to bubble. Bits floating to the surface, perfect. And that'll keep on working all the time. Right. Now, because of the nature of the shotting, the bulk shot will be set almost instantly when it's cast. So actually you only fish in the last 14 inches with just the single dropper. And that's where we expect to take our fish. Of course we'll alter it as the fish dictate. Right, now I've already added a bit of water to the ground bait. Now as a Pharaoh chuck, it'll be a bit difficult to to throw it by hand, so I think I'll use a catapult. I'm eyeing up a tree opposite, a shady bit, and I'll just fish to the left, because that's where I've been plumbing. Let's see if I can get this spot on. Yeah, let's put a couple in. And what I'll try and do, I'll try and make it bounce across the water slightly. So it's over a wide area. That's it, perfect. Again. Yeah, lovely, super. Okay, that's that. Right, let's try some bait. Right, now the type of hook I'm using today is a stainless steel wide gaped hook. Actually, it's a size 8. Now it might seem a bit large, but we'll be threading the maggots so it appears as though the maggots are covering the whole hook. Now the type of fish we're hoping to catch, 4 or 5 ounce fish, we'll take it. Put 2 maggots on, ready. Thread one up the shank, pinch one on the bottom. There you go. Right into the casting position, butt between the legs. Make a slight pendulum outwards, and then back to that position, and out you go. Right, it takes a bit of practice. You don't necessarily need to be a strong man at all, but it's just technique more than anything. That looked like a bite then. Try it again. Here we go. Out. Lovely. Let's try some loose feed, I think. Now that we've put our base down and that ground bait should be bubbling away, put some loose feed on top. Yeah, there's a bite. Yep. I'm in. Oh, I'm in straight away. Look at that. Up. Ah, swallowed it as well. Oh well. Now, if you look carefully, you'll notice that the hook is halfway up the butt. The reason I've done that, I've allowed the spring and the tension of the tip. Okay, so if you think it looks a bit awkward, it's actually set that in that position for a purpose. Okay, so we'll put our maggots on again. 1, 2. I'll just thread them normal that way. Now this type of fishing is very popular on the continent. They tend to fish normally, wait, oh, there's a bite. Looks like we're going to enjoy ourselves, yeah. Yes, they use a long pole for all types of fishing. Now, I must agree that this type of fishing is unbeatable. Because if you can imagine 11 metres to hand, you're bringing fish in from 22 metres out. You imagine doing that with a rod and reel. If you tried that with a rod and reel, you'd still be reeling in. So, that's it. Right, I'll pump it out overarm and try and aim it up into the air. Just before it settles, just gradually pull it. Yes, that's lovely. That's settling nice there now. And this method of long pole fishing is very popular on the continent, because yet they're still discovering the rod and reel. The Italians, I think, are probably one of the best at long lining. And some of the speeds that they can get after catching these fish is quite good. Yeah. Right, well, it looks as though these rudd are starting to feed. What I want now is a few roach. Right, now, I don't know if you noticed that then, I didn't use the pendulum in front of me, because now I'm into a rhythm. The whole idea is to get into a rhythm so that when you're bringing fish in, you don't bring your float in without a fish on the end. And that's the way that you build up big weights. Okay, here we go. Still a bit finicky these, but it's a bit more feeding now, I think. Pull in the rest. Scatter some maggots over a wider area this time, I think. Right, here we go. Yep, they're there. Of course, rudd, predominantly summer species anyway. Yeah. See, that's what happens if you leave your float out without holding the pole and striking on the first take. There you go. They're ravenous eaters, rudd, mind you. You can overfeed rudd. I've experienced it quite a few times, and little and often I think that's the technique. I've known rudd to come and go as if by magic. But these just come on. I mean, this is quite good. This is another way of holding a pole, incidentally. You put it in the butt, you just hold your legs together. It saves you putting in the rest. Just takes a bit of practice. There you go. Super. Let's see if I can get into a rhythm now, just to show you what I mean. See how many fish we can catch. Sometimes you can get them feeding so you don't have to rebait. So we'll try a couple of sucked skins. See if that works. Yeah, I'm enjoying this. No, they didn't look as though you wanted that. Perhaps there's not enough fish there yet, because the more that they compete, the quicker the bites are going to become. Now, this is a method that we very rarely use in our country, except maybe in Ireland when we're on the ban, or even, oops, I'll rebait again because I don't think they're taking the skins yet. But once I've got them going, we'll probably be able to catch 10 or 12 fish on the same bait. There you go. But they certainly beats a rod and reel. I mean, by the time I would have reeled that fish in, that last one, would have probably taken, I'd probably still be doing it. Keep that feed going, you see. That's the secret. Yep, there they come. Lovely fish, the red, mine, very colourful. I'll try red and the white one this time. This is a pendulum motion. I'd recommend the pendulum motion for a beginner until you can master it straight from the hand. There you go. Now see, coming straight to hand, straight to the net below you without even looking. Probably takes longer to put the bait on than it does actually catching the fish. Now, I'm not sure the species of fish in the lake, but if there are any bream or larger fish, then you'll see some fireworks. It's quite difficult to land large fish this method. Ah, talking about that, I got a big one on though. Oh, look at that. Oh, blimey. Oh, it's a perch. Look at that. It's a lovely one. Oh, he's taking it. There you go. Somebody in the background smashing bottles. There you go. And a lot of these bites I'm getting are lift bites. They're just taking it along the surface like that. See that? No. So that's another beauty. You don't have to reel all the way in, because you can invariably still get a bite just by moving it. Keep it in the same position. Went under. Have his bottom hook then. That rod took it on the bottom. That's a bite straight away. And a tangle. Now, you don't normally get tangles as long as you feather it out. There we are. It's easy to undo anyway. Now, if you look at the olivette, you'll see that it's shaped with a thin end facing upwards and the round end on the bottom. Because sometimes the line will sort of fall on itself and just fall off it. Okay, if it was the other way around, sometimes the line would attach itself to the top. All right. What I'm going to do now shortly, I'm going to start to feed a bit closer in, see if I can bring it in a bit closer. Maybe I can get away on, say, 7 or 8 metres. Then it'll be a lot quicker and not so much effort. Fish 11 metres. You need a good pole. I wouldn't recommend cheap ones because they tend to be a lot heavier. This particular one is made by Silstar, which I find quite adequate for most of this type of work. This particular pole again, if I could just point out to you, I've got aluminium collars to give it the added strength. See on there? Again, for this type of work. I know the Dutch use these poles quite a lot. Now it's the height of summer, I don't know if you can see this, but down by here, some milt from one of the fish. So it just proves the fact that they're still spawning. What a pleasant day though. Red always remind me of summer. What I would normally do, I would normally bring the fish over the net. Because if you get any dropping off, that sometimes they do, 2 vital points when a hook is fished is obviously when you just bring it to the surface, and the other one is when it's about this position. Just like that. I've seen a lot of continental anglers shake the fish off. No, I'm not into cruelty to fish, so I'd rather unhook them than shake them. They say it is a lot faster, but I'd rather unhook them fish. Yeah. Keep net in front. Kept bitten alive, yeah? Never mind, it's certainly worth it. But it's tremendous fishing. This little trick for the rod, just move the float across the surface like that and just let it settle. And that sometimes produces just a bite, just like that. Always peg the keep net out, of course, because if you're catching quantity, you don't want the keep net to collapse. Incidentally, my disgorge has just come off. Just tie it. Very important piece of this type of fishing. Now we're using a black tip float here because of the nature of the sky and the reflection it's giving on the water. it appears to be a white colour, so obviously a black tip would be the most visible. No, I'm trying various things here, twitching it and altering the depths. Let's alter the depths again. Maybe that might do something. Yeah, come up in the water. Olivette up slightly. In the shot, yeah. It's like any type of fishing, you've got to work at it, because that little bit of difference can mean the difference between catching and not. Right, I think that concludes today stillwater pole fishing. Let's have a look what we've caught. Don't forget the keep net code and feed the fish from the bottom. There you are. Beautiful, look at that. About £10.